After 6 hours of being safe in the safe room in one of the train carts, Zoe opened her eyes and slowly woke up. She turned to see Sister Bear, who was cuddling with her beside her. "How did you sleep?" Zoe asked her. "Yes, I'm all rested up and feeling better," Zoe replied as she slowly got up without waking Sister Bear. Even Zoe could still feel a bit of pain, but it was mostly feeling better. "Zoe, we both wanted you to say thank you for saving Sister Bear from that witch," Mama Bear said. "It was no problem, Mom and Papa. I'm glad I was able to save her. That witch would have killed her in seconds if I didn't act fast," Zoe replied as Sister Bear woke up to see Zoe. Zoe, how do you feel?" Sister asked. "I feel better. I will still have those scars from the witch scratched me, but since Bill gave me those painkillers, they sure knocked me out for a good couple hours," Zoe replied. "Will they work on me if I was badly hurt like you were?" Sister asked. "I don't think it's safe for children," Zoe replied as Bill opened the safe room door. He, Francis, and Mom and Papa walked out. "Where are you going?" Zoe asked. "With you, Louis, and Sister stay here. We're going to clear up some zombies," Papa Bear said. "Well, Sister, I'm going to teach you ways of how to defend yourself. I'll teach you how to fire a gun and stuff," Zoe said. Zoe started to help Sister learn how to practice on shooting the gun. Honestly, Sister didn't really think it was that bad, but at the same time, holding a gun was going to be really, really tough. Within a couple target practices, Sister finally got it, and she even smiled and had a great time. Zoe even shot her first kill at a zombie when they were leaving the safe room. Zoe laughed and smiled as she and Sister were walking down the path. "You are a really good shooter," Sister said to Zoe, who she could see Bill, Francis, Louis, Mama, and Papa up ahead in the cabin in the middle of the forest. "Thanks, Sister. You also were a good shot," Zoe replied. "Thanks for teaching me how to use a gun and on how to defend myself," Sister replied. "It was no problem. I'm glad you're looking up to me as if I was your bigger sister or even your mom even," Zoe replied as she and Sister got up with the rest of the group in the cabin. "Mama, Zoe taught me how to defend myself," Sister said. "We're very proud of you, Zoe, for teaching Sister on how to defend herself. This would be a great thing for her to learn and know when she gets older," Mama Bear replied as Francis looked at the back of the door when he saw a church in the distance. "There's a church in the distance. Why not we head there?" Francis suggested, as everyone else agreed, and they walked down towards the church, where the voices inside were in the safe room. "There's someone inside," Bill said, as Zoe looked at him. "You want to knock?" he asked. "Sister, stay with your parents. This is an adult job," Zoe said as she knocked on the safe room door. "No one gets in! It's my safe house!" the church guy said from the other side of the door. "Hey, jerkass! Why don't you just open the goddamn door?" Zoe shouted angrily as the church guy rang the bell. A horde of zombies started to attack. Then the tank appeared out of nowhere, and the battle was easy that the survivors, including Sister, Mama, and Papa, were able to take down the tank. The bell stopped ringing, and Sister opened the door to the safe room door to see a smoker when Zoe fired the gun at the smoker, killing them with a big puff of smoke that appeared. Zoe and Sister were coughing along with the other survivors, including Mama and Papa, when Bill closed the safe room door. "That was an amazing fight," Papa Bear said. "And we have everyone," Louis said. Everyone took a look at the map, and they saw that they were getting closer to the boathouse, where Brother could be. "I think we should rest for a bit," Zoe said, as the group agreed, and they all started to rest for a bit, until they were moving on to whenever they were ready to move again and continue to their mission. The group all rested up, and they were ready to move on. Zoe used her hunting rifle to shoot a couple of zombies down before the group could head out. Sister could sense that something was up with Zoe. Then she could hear a group of free bears being silly and teasing the infected. "Sister, where are those free bears? One of them is not your brother, is it?" Zoe asked. "No, that's Too Tall and his no good gang. They're always up to their no good tricks," Sister replied as the tank chased Too Tall and his gang away. As they ran away screaming, Zoe and Sister laughed. We'll go find brother at that boathouse, Zoe replied. All right, people, rest is over. Time to head out. Zoe says the coast is clear, Bill said, as everyone got down from the church and they all walked down to get to town. I remember this place. It somehow reminds me of something, Zoe said. They soon found a house not too far from the movie theater. Look at that house. It looks like it was opened a long time ago, Sister pointed out. Maybe there's something in here we can use, Zoe suggested. Boys, wait here with Mama and Papa while me and Sister go and investigate the house. We'll call you guys if we need to, Zoe said. Sounds good. We'll guard this house, Francis said, as Zoe and Sister walked inside the house. They didn't see anyone inside when they just walked in, thankfully. This house is familiar, Zoe said. What did you say? Sister asked. Nothing really, Sister. Just said that I knew someone who owned this house, Zoe replied. As she looked at the stairs, she knew it was her house. But she didn't want to tell the truth to Sister in case it would upset her. Are you okay, Sister? Sister asked and could see that Zoe was pale. I'm fine. Why don't you go explore down while I go upstairs? Zoe handed Sister a gun to defend herself if she was in trouble. If you see something useful, then come upstairs and show me, Zoe said. As she watched Sister roam around out to the first floor of the house, she walked upstairs to find a bedroom in a mess with a broken window. Zoe was about to take another step when she heard a crack. She then heard a crack beneath her feet. She crouched down and picked up the picture. It was a man and a woman with a kid. It didn't take long to realize that that she and Sister were in her house before the infection started. Zoe then realized that the picture she stepped on was her and her parents. A semester already, and she's already dropping out, Carolyn said. Hey, I work all right, Wade then shouted. The fight with Zoe's parents went on, and it felt like forever until an intruder walked in and bit Carolyn. She screamed in pain. Zoe, call 911, Wade shouted. Yes, Dad, Zoe called 911. Then the zombie Carolyn walked towards Wade, bites him. She shoots her, and she was dead. Zoe dropped the phone and ran towards her dad. Dad, oh my God, I'll stop the bleeding, Zoe said, as she did her best to try and stop her bleeding, in hopes of thinking that they could save her dad. Zoe, it's too late, my dear. You know, in every zombie movie we watch together, you know how to kill them. You must kill me so I don't turn into one of them and do the same to you. I love you, Zoe. Wade, then choking, was on his own blood. I love you, Dad. Zoe teared up. Then she shot and killed her dad, who would have been a zombie if she didn't act quickly. Zoe then was seeing that she may be the last woman on Earth, sensing the fact of having flashbacks of her mother being killed and her having to kill her dad so he wouldn't be a zombie was so heartbreaking. Zoe then stared down at the picture and then began to cry a little. Sister saw Zoe in her room and was worried. Did you find anything? She asked, as Zoe quickly hid the picture of her and her family in her sweater pocket. Nothing, Sister. Just a picture of the owners that lived here. I knew them. We were really close, Zoe said as she looked at Sister, trying to brush off any hint of her sorrow, not to upset the bear cub. Did you find anything? I found a clue. Sister showed Zoe a candy bag full of Halloween candy. This must be brother's Halloween candy. Well, lucky us. This must tell us that we're getting close, Zoe said as she and Sister exited out of the house. They saw a tank who she shoved the car, knocking Francis and Zoe down to the ground. They needed help, so Bill and Louis, along with Mama and Papa, were gunning down the tank while Sister helped Francis and Zoe up. They shot down the tank as Francis was healing himself, while Zoe was trying to walk, but she was limping. You're limping, Sister said to Zoe as she sat down. Sister, can you heal me? She asked, as Sister saw that there was a first aid kit, not far from where the van was. Papa, is anyone using this? Zoe asked. No, sweetie, you can use that, Papa said, as Sister was starting to heal Zoe from the pain. Ow! Oh! Zoe groaned in pain. You okay? Did that hurt? Sister asked. A little, Zoe said, as Sister healed her friend up. Thanks, Sister. Zoe then showed her friends the candy bag that Sister found. This must be Brother's candy bag, Mama said. So that means he is close by. We gotta get to the boathouse, Francis said, as the group walked along through the building to get past to the movie theater. I hope Brother will be okay. I sure hope Witter Jones didn't hurt him, Sister said. He'll be fine, Sister. I promise you he'll be fine. I do hope so, Zoe said, as she stalked along with the group when they had reached the alleyway to find a witch crying as she was in her way. There's a witch. Shut off your lights, Zoe said, as the group slowly made their way around with the witch without disturbing her. Zoe can soon see a safe house on the other side of the fence. There's a safe house ahead, Zoe said, as she and their group went to the other side of the fence while going up and they through the two buildings until they were at the other side. They were soon inside the safe house building. We're kicking ass, Zoe said cheerfully. I am also tired, Zoe. Can we rest here? Sister asked. Zoe then yawned and soon everyone else was also tired. Well, we're in the safe room so we could rest here for a while and we can all catch some sleep, Francis said. Whenever we're all rest up, we can move on to the boathouse. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure we're close, Lewis said. After a couple of hours, Too Tall and his gang and we're up to no good. We're hanging around the quiet street. Let's pull a prank on someone, Too Tall said, as he got pea shooters and began to blow on them from the safe room door. One of them hit Lewis on the side. He got up and told Too Tall and his gang nicely to leave them alone. They were at it again, however. After 5 minutes, Francis told him off. Then Bill, who was angry, told him off in an angry voice. And finally, when they wouldn't stop, Zoe grabbed her hunting rifle, stepped out of the safe room with her gun in hand. Hey, why don't you jerks stop making so much goddamn noise when we're trying to sleep around here? Zoe screamed angrily at Too Tall and his gang. If you're gonna continue to make noise like this is what will happen. Zoe cocked her hunting rifle. I will kill all of you, she growled. As Too Tall and his gang ran away screaming, Zoe laughed to herself. Chickens they are, she laughed as she walked back inside the safe room, and everyone slept peacefully without a sound or without Too Tall and his gang trying to make any fools of themselves. After a couple of hours of sleep, the group woke up and they were all ready to continue on. Ready to move on? Bill asked, as everyone was all geared up and ready to go. Zoe, what was all the yelling of you and Bill were doing? Sister asked, as she was walking beside Bill and Zoe as they walked through the house on the quiet street to reach the boathouse. Did you hear that, Sister? Zoe asked. Yes, I then heard screaming. I sure hope no one got hurt or was attacked, Sister said in a worried voice. Well, Sister, there were 3 teenage bears making such noises, doing pranks. One of them was shooting pea shooters at Lewis, and then one of them was using an air horn causing loud noises that Francis told them to shut up. And then they were teasing the smoker and Hunter, so they got out and shot them down, gave them very angry warnings saying they need to cut off with their bullshit and keep quiet, Bill said. Those boys, Bill, were as Too Tall and his no-good gang, up to their pranks and shit. I heard of them being so loud that I was woken up, so I walked out of here and threatened them to stop. I sure scared them by saying I'll shoot them if they don't leave us alone, Zoe said, while laughing along with Bill and Sister's laughs joined in. Those boys I see, did they cause the cubs to be kidnapped? Bill asked. It leads to that, replied Zoe, as the group got on the top of a hill. There's the boathouse, she says, as Sister could see someone up on the boathouse rooftop. That's Brother, said Sister, as Zoe uses her binoculars to see that Brother was tied to the satellite on the roof. I see him there. We are here. Let's go down, get him down, Zoe replied, as she and the rest of the group walked towards the boathouse. How are we going to get up to the roof? Francis asked. Maybe if someone could get on the roof, they can get Brother down, and then we can all discuss what the plan is next, Lewis suggested. But who's going on the roof? Mama asked. I'm too old for this shit, so it's not me, Bill said, as everyone else said also not me, and Zoe was the only one who did not said not me or Bill. So Bill, along with Lewis and Francis, gave Zoe a boost up to the roof. You okay, kid? Bill asked, when Zoe was on the roof of the boathouse. Yes, I'll try to stay on, Zoe replied, as she untied Brother Bear and freed him. Thanks for rescuing me, but who are you? Brother asked. I'm Zoe, Zoe replied, as Brother jumped on her back as Zoe jumped off from the boathouse roof until they landed on the water, which it ended up with a splash. You okay, girl? Lewis asked, as Zoe walked out of the water with Brother in her arms. Yeah, we're fine, she said. Now Witter Jones is still watching us, trying to mess around with us of what she is doing. We will not let her get in our way. Now we will get help from a person on a boat that will take us to safety. I sure hope the 2 other cubs are going to be okay, Bill then said, as Lewis answered the call on the radio, told him to hold off for at least 10 minutes until the boat gets here. There's still Fred and Lizzie left. They have to be in one of these circles, but we're not sure which one has Fred and the other has Lizzie, Papa Bear said, as Bill and Zoe looked at the map. Brother is safe, which that is good, Zoe said. She checked the circle of where the boathouse mark was marked at. So either whoever is in either of these circles will have to find out who is where. There is no name on who's where, Zoe said, as she and everyone else heard a hunter. I hear a hunter, Zoe said, as she was pounced by the hunter. Get it off of me, she cried, as Mama pushed the hunter off of her as Francis killed the hunter. Great shot, Francis, Bill said, as a horde of zombies were coming towards the group. They stayed on the boathouse just to hold off the infected until the horde of zombies were down. Followed by a few hunters, boomers, and smokers, they were killed by everyone and they were safe until the tank started to attack. What is that big thing? Brother asked as he was behind Francis. That's a tank, Francis replied. The whole group was able to gun down the tank. Then another horde of zombies was coming for the whole group. They were able to gun down the zombies with a few special infected, along with the second battle with the tank. After that battle, Zoe could see that the boat was approaching. Come on, guys, the boat's here. We gotta get to the boat. Run to the boat. We have to make it to the boat, Zoe called as she grabbed Sister Bear and Lewis grabbed Brother Bear, and the whole group ran towards the boat. As the zombies and special infected were behind them, after everyone got onto the boat, they made sure everyone was on, and the boat left. Brother looked at the infected as they got far away from the boathouse. Thanks for saving me, Brother said, as the group of survivors that helped Mama and Papa find the cubs. It was not a problem, son. I'm Bill, by the way, Bill replied. That's Francis the biker dude, that's Lewis the manager of the store, and you've already met the college student. Her name is Zoe if you didn't hear her say her name yet. Thanks, Bill. Your group and you are a great team with us, Brother said. I wonder if Fred and Lizzie are both going to be okay, Sister said. I sure hope so. I am sure their parents are just as worried about them as we are, Mama Bear replied. On the boat, the survivors along with Mama and Papa and their cubs, Zoe was looking at the picture of her and her parents while sighting with in sadness. You okay? Mama asked. Yeah, I remember something, that's all, Zoe replied. What is that? Mama asked Zoe. I think I may be the last woman on Earth. It's just something I've never seen another woman alive so far during this infection. Besides you, Sister, and Witter Jones, that bitch. I wonder what's the next thing she'll do to this time, Zoe asked. Meanwhile, at the airport of Dead Air, Witter Jones was looking at a crystal ball to find a group of survivors along with Mama, Papa, and their cubs. Well, that didn't stop you guys from saving the cubs, eh? Well, if you are coming for Freddy, you can have him, but you'll have to come to the greenhouse in Newburgh in Pennsylvania. Witter Jones used her magic to make the survivors magically disappear from the boat. They were soon in another place, which was the city of Newburgh, and they were all shocked. What happened? Did we get teleported? Brother asked. It looks like Witter Jones made us disappear from the boat, and we ended up here, Zoe said. We're in the greenhouse, and it's the city of Newburgh, she said. The plane then flew past the greenhouse just above the group. That plane's headed for the airport, Francis pointed out. I say we head there. Fred must be there. I sure hope he's okay. Zoe grabbed the pipe bomb and threw at the group of zombies. She had killed a huge group of them. Well, that took out most of them, she said. But there's still some zombies there, Brother pointed out. I'll take care of the rest, Bill said, as he threw a pipe bomb and killed what was the remainder of the zombies left. That was cool. Can I try to throw one? Brother asked. Sure, brother, I'll teach you, Francis said. As he saw a hunter in the greenhouse, he threw the Molotov and so did Brother. Mama and Papa looked at Bill, didn't like the fact that Francis was teaching Brother how to play with fire when it was not safe. God damn it, Francis! Bill shouted, as Francis stared at Bill. What? Francis asked, as Bill took the Molotov away from him. You don't teach kids how to play with fire. You can't let them throw these grenades. They're dangerous, Lewis said. Let adults handle this stuff. Zoe then opened the map, but unfortunately it ripped. Ah, shit. The map ripped, Zoe said, as she held one part of the map, while the other one was floating away. After the fire killed the hunter and the fire had disappeared, the group continued on. Bill grabbed the other part of the map. I got it, Bill said, as he handed Zoe the other piece of the map. I'll hold on to the map that is ripped until we can find the other some tape. Thanks, Bill, Zoe said, as Sister laughed. What's so funny, Zoe? Zoe asked. I think your fly's undone. Sister pointed at Zoe's pants, which made her look down to see there was nothing there. Thanks, Sister, but you should not have said that out loud where anyone can hear you, Zoe shouted. Okay, sorry for my language, but you know what I mean. The group then continued to go down through the building until they reached all the way down the street. There's a safe house in that Harbor View Hotel, Francis pointed out, as the group saw the smoker grab the brother with his tongue. Help, let me go, Brother shouted, as Francis grabbed the brother, but he was being pulled. Then Lewis and Bill pulled, and Zoe was reloading her gun so she could kill the smoker. When Sister, who held her Uzi and shot Uzi and then shot down the smoker, he was killed and a large puff of smoke appeared. Got him, Sister smiled, as everyone looked at Sister, who was the one who shot down the smoker. Great shot, Sister, Zoe said in surprise. I'm proud of you for killing that smoker. Yeah, sis, you did very well. Who taught you how to do that? Brother asked. Zoe taught me how to use a gun, Sister replied. Good thing you taught her, good kid. I'm proud of you, Bill said, as he hugged Zoe. We should get going to the safe room. The last one is in the last one. Safe room is last one's in the safe room closest to the door. Brother ran towards the safe room in the hotel. Brother, watch out for the... Before Bill and Lewis and Francis, along with Zoe, could warn Brother about the car alarm that was about to set off. The alarm went off. Car. Motherfucker! Zoe screamed in annoyance in an angry voice. Then a huge loud horde of zombies that were coming up, so the group ran all the way until they got into the safe room. When everyone was in, Francis quickly closed the door. Zoe wasn't happy with Brother. That was a very naughty of you, Brother. You almost got us killed, Zoe growled. Zoe, that would have been enough bullshit with the shooting, giving this cub shit he didn't even know. I know you were upset, but we didn't warn him ahead of time. You can't be mad at him, Bill said, trying to calm Zoe down. Bill's right, Zoe. You need to tell Brother you're sorry for your anger when you have calmed down, Mama said. Zoe grabbed her gun and exited out of the safe room. Sister looked at Zoe as she sat down. Zoe, Brother didn't mean it. He didn't. Sister was cut off by Zoe. Will you just leave me alone, Zoe said, as she begins to cry. Sister sat down beside Zoe. Zoe, what's wrong? Sister asked, as Zoe looked up with Sister with red eyes. They were puffy and swelling from the crying. Why are you crying? Well, Sister, I'm just in a lot of pain, you see. Zoe sobbed as she took out a picture of her and her parents from her sweater. Why are you in pain? You're not hurt, Sister said, and wondered if Zoe was hurting on the inside. I'm not hurt by the infected. I'm having a bad stomach ache, Zoe replied as she groaned in pain again. Do you want me to go get Mama? Sister asked as she hugged Zoe. No, it's okay, sister. I could take care of myself. I'm sorry for snapping at your brother after seeing the car alarm went off and on fire, Zoe replied as she cried a bit more. I'm very homesick, lost, hurt, in pain and heartbroken. Why? Sister asked. Who's that in the picture? Well, I'll talk about the picture. Before I tell you why, feeling all the things I tell you, this picture was me and my parents. They died when the infection started. My mother was bitten, and when I was calling 911, she was infected and bit my dad, so I had to shoot him to prevent him from becoming a zombie. I'm afraid I had no choice. I missed them, though. Zoe cried more as Sister hugged Zoe as she cries more. I'm so sorry, Zoe. I would feel the same way you were if I lost Mama and Papa. So would Brother, Sister replied. And, Zoe continued, I'm feeling homesick because I missed the way things were before the infection. I am lost without my parents, but Bill somehow is like a dad to me in a way. He cares about me. I feel hurt because I was feeling that I was very harsh on Brother. I didn't mean to do that all was hurting myself even more. I feel heartbroken because I miss my parents, even though they are dead. I'm just having bad cramps in my tummy, and that adds insult to injury. Zoe choked in her sobs as she groaned in pain. Why does your stomach hurt? Is it because you're hungry, or is your stomach hurting you due to stress? Sister asked. Yes and no, Zoe said. Yes, because I wish the infected never happened. Zoe got up and walked to the apartment in the alleyway by jumping over the fence and climbing up the ladder to the bathroom on the window. The coast is clear, Sister said, as she shuts the bathroom door, and Zoe was searching for the cupboards. Thanks, Sister, Zoe said. And she then asked Sister to step out for a minute, to which she did. Of course, Zoe did what she had to do. Are you bleeding, Zoe? Did the infected get you? Sister asked. Relax, I'm not dying, and the infected did not get me. Zoe felt embarrassed on how to tell a young cub at a young age when she still does not know. Sister is still a kid, but she did not even know about menstrual cycles in women because Sister is not at that age yet. Let's just say it's that time of the month, Zoe said. I just started today. No wonder why I've been moody. Sister looked at Zoe when Zoe came out of the bathroom, confused. What does that mean? She asked. Oh boy, how should I put this? Zoe's cheeks were red at that point. Well, when a girl gets older, many changes start to happen in her body. We get hormones that happen during this time. It's called puberty, we'll just put it that. Or maturity, Zoe explained. What does that mean? What is it like on girls? Sister asked. Well, it's something everyone goes through in their lifetime. Usually around their teens it happens. When I got a lot older, a lot was going on in my body. I started changing, Zoe said. It's really complicated, Sister. You pretty much will only understand when you're older, Zoe said. What else happens? Sister asked. Well, I just have a special part of my body that I can bear children if I want to. In the future, that is right now. I'm not going to explain too much of it, Sister, but when you're older, you'll understand, Zoe said. Okay, Sister said, not wanting to ask any more questions. And even though it was more embarrassing for Zoe to teach it, since Sister wasn't in her position, or in her shoes for that matter, since she was just a cub. Well, you'll understand when you get older. These cramps I am having right now will at least be gone eventually, Zoe said. The group was in the apartments, saw that Zoe and Sister were at. You okay? You both were gone for a while, Mama said. We're fine, Mama. Ready to move on? Sister asked. Zoe nodded and the group was able to continue with their adventure. They went on for the apartment building, shooting down the zombies as soon as they reached a building with the roof that they were on a crane, which of course they had to get over to the other side somehow. The group was stuck with the crane that had a large block with a ladder on it. "How are we going to get over there?" Mama asked, pointing at the other side of the buildings. "There has to be something," Papa replied. Then Francis saw a crane with a large block on the ladder on it. It was hooked together. "We can use that crane to lower the block down and then climb onto it to get to the other buildings," Francis said, pointing out the crane. "Good idea, Francis," Zoe said. As she lowered the crane and a huge horde of zombies was attacking the group, they were able to gun down the horde. "Box is down, let's go," Zoe said. The group, along with the others, climbed onto the box and they were soon on the other side of the building. They walked inside of one of them, and Zoe was walking up with the planks with Sister Bear when she slipped and almost fell. Zoe was able to catch Sister Bear and pulled her up. "I can help you up. You're not gonna fall," Zoe said as she pulled Sister up. "This shit's getting old," Bill said as the group went down the stairs to get through the offices. "These offices are abandoned," Brother said. "I sure hope Fred and Lizzie are okay. I am quite worried about them," Sister replied as Zoe spotted a safe house. "Safe house up ahead," Zoe we saw, and they heard Bill said that. The group raced to the safe house as the horde of zombies were after them from the office building. Francis and Louis were able to shoot most of them down, but most of them were still coming. Once everyone was in the safe room, Bill quickly shut the door. "That was close," Zoe sighed. "Too close. I really do hope we don't have to do that again," Papa replied as the group opened the door to the next safe room and they were in a construction site. "This must be a construction site. It is so quiet in there. It's been abandoned since the infection started," Zoe replied as she groaned in pain again. "You're gonna be okay, Zoe?" Sister asked. "Maybe you should take a break," Sister suggested as Zoe slowly stood up, slow and quiet, taking deep breaths. "I think I'll be okay," Zoe said. "Sister, I forgot to say this when we were in the apartments before we reached the crane with this whole woman thing." "Really? What is it?" Sister asked as she walked with Zoe and shot down the zombies. "Well, Sister, let's just say, this girl thing, it does happen. It's gonna happen to you when you get older. Mama will explain it more to you, because I'm, kind of bad at this," Zoe said as she saw a barricade blocking their way. "There's a barricade in the way. How are we gonna get through it?" Brother asked, as Zoe had a plan. "We could burn down this barricade." Zoe shot at the gas cans, and the fire started to burn down the barricade. Of course, it attracted the horde of infected, which the group stayed together to fight off the infected, while Witter Jones's laugh was heard after the horde of zombies were shot down. "Witter Jones, no more fucking around. What do you want?" "I see you're looking for Cousin Fred, are we?" "We'll soon see about that," Witter Jones laughed as she used her magic to shoot down the group as they all moved quickly before she blasted them. "Okay, Witter Jones, bitch. Neither of us signed up for this shit." Bill shouted as Witter Jones looked at Bill. "Well, I guess I didn't want to be a part of that either. Well, look, what is you all did?" Witter Jones grabbed Zoe and was choking her. "This teenage girl will die and no one will save you." "Bill," Zoe choked as Bill shot at Witter Jones by the arm. It caused her to let go of Zoe, and cries of her pain of her arm being shot from the assault rifle was heard. "Don't you dare hurting her, or your ass is getting kicked," Bill growled as he pointed the gun at Witter Jones. "Next time you plan on attacking us, you don't ever touch that girl, or any of us." Bill cocked his assault rifle as Witter Jones used her magic to disappear. "Zoe, are you okay?" Bill asked as he tended to the coughing teenage girl. "I'm okay, Bill." Zoe coughed for air as she was able to breathe again. "That bitch will pay," Zoe replied in anger. "I want to get my hands on her too. I would die to keep you safe away from her," Bill replied as the fire cleared from burning down the barricade. "Barricade's down, we can go through," Louis said as he, along with the rest of the group, through the barricades to find themselves in the alleyway. "Hey, you guys," said Too Tall, he and his gang were in the alleyway. "Too Tall, what do you want now?" Brother asked, as Bill looked at Francis. "This is what happens when you teach kids how to swear. They will repeat what adults say," Bill said, as Francis looked at Brother, and the same with Lewis. "Hey, Brother, don't say that F word. It is a bad word," Francis said to Brother, which made him think twice before saying that word again. Francis and Bill are right. Just because you hear us adults swear doesn't mean you have to repeat them. It isn't right to use that bad language around other kids, Lewis said. It is also not right to even hear kids swear. "Enough of that crap. We want you guys to stop to go buy some pea shooters, air horns, and balloons," Smirk said, showing off their stuff. "That's the pea shooters that hit me," Francis pointed out. "And those are the air horns that made me and Zoe pissed off. It woke us up," Bill added. "And those balloons were popping was so loud it scared me," Lewis replied. "We are not buying that shit. Keep it for yourselves, unless you want the air horn blew at your ears until they bleed. Balloons being shoved down your throat, even pea shooter sticks are gonna go up your asses," Zoe said. "You're buying them," Scuzz said. "Hey, that's blackmail. I'm not paying for that shit," Bill said in anger. "Just screw off," Francis said. "Listen, boys, you better not try to mess us over, or we will get karma what's coming to you," Zoe said, as she cocked her auto shotgun, which scared Too Tall and his gang away again. "That sure showed them," Lewis said, as he was surprised that Zoe scared Too Tall and his gang away. "If I ever see them again, they'll need a hospital when a shotgun gets shoved up their asses," Zoe growled. "I agree with Zoe. They are really getting on her nerves," Francis replied. The group walked on and got out of the alleyway, and then they walked towards the airport. "Shit, the plane's down. I hope that wasn't the plane we saw that flew over our heads," Zoe asked. As the tank was approaching anything, the group got away from the tank through the airport parking lot tower that they went upstairs, and when they ran inside from the safe room, closed the door, the tank gave up and he ran away. "That was a surprise. Everyone okay?" Mama asked. "Yep, we're all okay, thanks," Lewis said. "I haven't run that fast in my life, Zoe," Sister said. "Me neither, Sister. Even when I'm on my time of the month in the state of that I am in now, I have never ran that fast ever," Zoe said.